15, 20 minutes of your time, and then we'll let you go back to your beautiful life.
No
So,
worries.
I think we spoke a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, please, it's a question and answer session. So please just throw your questions in the comment box and we'll answer that very quickly. So please just throw your session. I will start and then I'll wait for your questions to come. The last time we spoke about a whole lot of things, you growing up or not, life as it were, and all of that. I think one area we couldn't really go into it's your music,
Okay.
and I was quite keen. If there was a drawdown to that session, it was me not being able to tell that complete story because that's a big side of what you're about.
Yeah.
So I know we spoke about you being a worship leader and all of that, and congratulations on 500,000 viewers on YouTube.
Oh,
You
thank you.
your
Thank
star
you.
quality is going just by the day high up there.
Yeah, it's just God, honestly.
So let's start from there. Are you because for me, I look at musicians as my mentors in terms of faith. Because when you're cooking that music in the first of all on your phone, like you normally do, you record on your phone,
Yeah.
and
I've
then
just recorded 2 songs in the last 48 hours.
you
I
see,
don't even know what happened. It was just a fire download. So yeah,
you know,
we're
so
working on that now.
yeah, you see. So you go from your phone and then, a little bit faith to actually write it down because it could die on your phone or you never could get to it. And then you take another little faith to say, you know what, I'm going to get in the studio and actually sing this.
Yeah.
But in doing all of that, you don't even have, you don't have a guarantee that even though the song feels good and you've got it and you feel it, you don't have a guarantee that people are going to feel it as much as you feel it. So I'm trying to get into your mind as an artist. How do you go from A, being you get an inspiration for that song,
Yeah.
and how do you drive through all you guys have to do to finally get it to people like us who would then raise our noses to say that is it good? Is it good? Am I feeling it? Am I not feeling it? How does that work? Because I think it mirrors life.
To be honest, I've had to get out of my own way, and I've had to, in another sense, I've had to get over myself.
Hmm.
Because my writing process is really weird. I've tried it where you sit in a room, turn on music, worship, pray, and like, okay, come on, let's write a song. And it just hasn't worked for me. And I'm praying for God to bless me with that gift that I can intentionally sit down and say, I'm going to write a song. But what tends to happen is I'd literally be doing the most random things. And then like the whole verse and the melody and what the BVs are going to sing and what the drums going to sound like and what the beats per minute is going to be, it literally just goes boom, drop. And the key thing
Wow.
is I just make sure that I've got my phone with me and I quickly record it, and then I'll go into Apple Notes and I'll write it down. And I think for me, the reason why I'm getting to the point where I'm becoming more confident in the gift that's inside of me, and it's taken years. Like we're talking, I've been writing for over 25 years,
Wow.
but I never had the confidence to release. I've still got a backlog of old material that's never been touched.
Hmm.
But I've got a producer that I work with regularly now, and sometimes I'll share with him just the verse and the chorus, and I'm like, I'm not sure. And then he'll say, leave it with him, and he'll go away. And sometimes, and one thing I've also found as well is that there's a season for everything.
Yes.
And it isn't about the numbers. Like it's like the Bible talks about seeking first God's kingdom
Yes.
first, and everything else will be added. So it's not a case of, oh, this is going to be a hit, let's release this. Because as I keep saying to people, Lost for Words was literally at the bottom. Like
Hmm.
it was when it was originally written, but there's something happened on the night of the recording, and it just took on a life of its own. So for
Hmm.
me, if that song's going to bless one person, I've done my job. If
Absolutely.
that song's going to give one soul to the kingdom, I've done my job. And for, you know, I get random messages from all over the world, South America, Asia, all over the world, saying this song has blessed me, I was feeling
Yeah.
suicidal, this was happening. And if that's going to stop somebody from making that decision, I've done my job. So the numbers, they're great, they're wonderful and everything,
Yeah.
but overall that's not the aim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see a very confident, astute, and very professional woman who is confident, face things head on, and you've done that all your career.
Yeah.
And now I see a musician who is writing 25 for the past 25 years, and
Yeah.
suddenly, the boldness to push everything out is not as much as what you do in your day-to-day work.
Yeah.
How do you get through that barrier to say that? Because I'm hearing all of this because it's in your head. You record
Hmm.
it, nobody can hear you. Record it on your
Yeah.
phone, and
Yeah.
then you look at it, and then you analyze it, and then you get paralyzed. Analyze. How do you marry those, your boldness in your day to day, and
Mhm.
bringing that into music as you are and as you do?
I think even in a career, in the early days, you have mentors, coaches, and you have people that have gone along the path ahead of you, and
Yeah.
you get them to guide you as you're making career decisions. And in the same way, I'm confident in the way I write the songs because I know that they're from God. And
Mm,
that's the spirit that people feel when they listen to the song. So the
mm,
production is great and everything. And
yeah.
I'm also very careful about who produces my music as well.
Mm,
But it's with time.
mm.
It
Okay.
is with time. We just have to. But if you don't start, you can't progress. So, and I think like I had, in Jesus' name, I had serious studio fright. The
Hmm.
amount of times I've been invited to record for people in the past, and I've rehearsed, I've prepped, I'm ready, I've done everything, and then I'll walk into the studio and everything I've learned just gone.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm overreaching on the notes, I'm going flat, I'm sharp, and I'm like, Jumoke, this isn't what you learn. Like this is how you that this isn't very professional. And I literally freeze and I have to be declaring, God hasn't given me a spirit of fear, power, love, and a sound. And this is what I'm doing in my mind again and again. And I'd literally crash and burn.
Wow.
So when I started the journey to new creation, which is my debut album, quick
Yes.
plug, I literally had a counseling session with my producer and with the
Wow.
person who recommended that producer to me. So I had a counseling session and I sat down with the person. I said, look, this is what I fear. And I think it's that fear of failure.
Hmm.
And it's
Hmm.
like, it's stepping out of comfort zone because career was comfort zone. So it
Yes.
was like stepping outside of comfort zone. And in my spirit, I know you have to overcome this. So how do
Okay.
I overcome this? By speaking to people who are experienced in going to the studio, by speaking to
Yes.
people who are experienced in production, by speaking to people who are experienced so that they can actually say, that's normal.
Hmm.
Like the expectation was that I would walk in and one take and we're done.
Yes.
Changed me. There were certain parts, God.
Oh my God. It's quite interesting to and you see, for me, what I'm even taking out of this, and this is because I've been blessed with wonderful speakers like you who have been very open and vulnerable. Because it's easy for me to look at you, or for a young lady listening, or anyone out there listening, to say, Victoria doesn't look like one who's gonna, freeze in a studio.
Oh
She's not,
yeah.
she's not gonna. So, I'm feeling that. And is that right? Is that wrong? Because people don't talk about these things.
Yeah.
Everyone has a,
The
I got it all.
facade.
Yeah, yeah. So, so,
Yeah.
so again, just to kind of marry things together as we gradually run down the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So now you run, you're very highly placed in a big in the financial industry. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
And then you're a singer songwriter and all of that. For
Hmm.
for the young person or the lady or someone who is just at that junction of, like, you know what, I've got this gift. I sing. Um, do I follow this gift 100, or do I look for a job, or what do I do? What would be your advice or counsel for that kind of person?
To be honest, I guess it depends on what their objective is.
Mm.
Funny enough, I was having this conversation with someone today around having like a 9 to 5 or side hustle
Yes.
while doing ministry. And in a lot of cases, you know, there are few and far between artists that are doing it full time and they can build as in legacy empire for their children's children purely on music.
Mm.
You know, that's where everyone wants to be.
Mm.
And on the journey to get in there, we also have to think about what are we leaving behind, because there are a lot of artists out there that do it full time.
Yeah.
And they're just about making ends meet. So imagine the situation now with the lockdowns and live events and things that they would normally rely on for their bread and butter. And one thing someone said to me when the lockdown happened, and this is someone that's also in music ministry and also has a day job, she said, thank God for the 9 to 5. And then also in the same vein, I've had someone say to me that, oh, you're not committed because you haven't given up the 9 to 5 and gone full in. And that takes me back to your last guest's advice that don't just jump in, because I've got a husband and I've got a 5 to 10 year strategy of where we want to be. And that's based on a certain level of income coming into the house. So if I made that decision to say, I'm giving up my day job and I'm going into full-time ministry without doing my research, understanding what I'm going into, and potentially set myself up to fail when it shouldn't have failed. And then also, to be honest, having that financial freedom means that I can say yes or no to ministrations as I feel led. I can say, I can sow, and I love to sow. I love to sow. You can't build if there's nothing to build on. You know, 0 times a million is still 0.
Absolutely.
So the dream is to get to the point where you can just, you know, fly around the world. And that's why we're working on other things such as investments, etc. So you have passive income. You want to be making income when you're sleeping, whether it's through the music when you're sleeping. There are ways to do that while you're sleeping. Through my career, yes, it's 9 to 5, but I have got so much flexibility now and support from a great manager. She knows I do the music on the side. So that's been a blessing as well.
So I'm tempted to ask how she got to know you were doing music, and but that's a side one. Somebody just asked the question that I free sometimes when I'm supposed to do presentations at work. How do I come out of the state? They're just trying to get an advice of. She's a young lady too who does a whole lot of presentations and all of that. Yeah.
So as part of my work, I've been blessed to do a lot of quite advanced training. And one of the trainings we went on was like a masterclass in breakthrough conversations. And one of the things they taught us about was about it's actually breathing. And I thought, whatever, breathing. Everyone breathes in and out, in and out. But there are actually techniques. And if she wants, she can DM me offline.
Okay.
And even when I'm going to lead praise and worship, if I'm going to administration, my heart is going 50,000 miles per hour. And then I start saying, God hasn't given you a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You can do this is not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit of God. I know I prepared, but it is not me. So I say these things to myself. But then actually, before I walk on to do what I need to do, there's some stances you can take. There's a way you can breathe. There's stuff you can do that literally takes you, like literally brings your heart rate down and gets you to center, because you've prepared. You've done your homework. Don't let the fright paint a different picture. And it happens, and it still happens. Like sometimes, you know, I've prepared, I've done everything I need to do that I know to do. And then I let my mind run wild. And then I've done so many words where I forget, like I've sung songs and I forgot the first line. But yeah, there is actually a way you can stand physically. You center yourself by dropping your arm. So God has designed our bodies to do things, and we just need to get to know the things that we need to do in order to control things like our heart rate and our mind. So slide into my DM and I will demonstrate it for you.
All right.
But it's very simple. It's literally 10 seconds. It takes 10 seconds. And literally you go like into like a calm and then start. And then when you're presenting, try not to like focus on someone. If you've got a friendly in the audience, like do a count like every 30 seconds ago, just go to them because their face will reassure you, and
Yeah.
then work the room above the heads. You don't have to look at the eye level. If you look just above the eye, from that distance, you actually can't tell that you're not looking them eye to eye. Whereas if you're presenting something, you're often trying to sell something, and
Yes.
there's an element of trust. And the way human beings and human nature we build trust is eye contact. So you can fake eye contact as you're moving around the room.
All right. Yeah, I see lines, obviously, qualities we use in our day to day, bringing that into music or, facing crowds and then having presentations at work. The only difference is the people.
Yeah.
So just going back before one more question and then we'll round up the next 5.
Okay.
Mr. Shoga, Mr. Sam Adeshoga, I'll be coming right to you after this. Now, convincing the people closest to you sometimes could be the most difficult. I say that because you mentioned that your director of work knows you do music.
Yeah.
Now, when you say that, again, first of all, how did you, even though this might sound like a very flimsy thing, how did that work in your mind? Like, oh my God, my boss knows I do music. Has she seen you sing before?
It's so weird. I've got a thing about work. I like work to be work, so I try not to do things to do with my hair and music that would detract from career. So I want my career, my work delivery to be what's spoken about in the room.
Yes.
However, in 2017, I moved internally within my firm, and my firm was actually running an internal campaign for employees called Start Today. So they had this booth, like a Big Brother booth by the entrance, and you'd go in and you press the thing and you record, this is what I'm going to start today. So someone was like, I'm going to start mountain climbing, I'm going to start learning an instrument, etc. And then, they were asking me, so what would you do? And I thought, what can I do? And then I think that's when I started actually praying about, maybe it's time to start the music. And then I started praying about it, and I was like, yeah, go for it. So funny enough, when it came up to Christmas, and then they randomly selected me again as part of like the wider business update. Because most firms actually have their own internal like TV stations. So I had to sit and be filmed, and they asked me what I was going to do. Wow. And I spoke about the music, and they're like, oh my God, it's so impressive. And the beauty of it is people don't understand that actually that's a conversation opener. So I was talking to our head of business about, my music. And he said, he's into music as well. And then random things like the CEO, I think, of Goldman Sachs, he's a DJ at the weekend. He plays in Annie Napa and places like that. So don't let the giftings that you have that set you apart from your colleagues be hidden, but find a way to talk about them without it looking like it's going to be a distraction from your work. And I think that's why it's quite key. So my boss was singing, telling everyone about my music. We had a team offsite for Christmas, which is usually lighthearted. And of course, I had to sing. Wow. But it was fine. I'm fine with that, honestly. I'm fine.
Did you feel any extra pressure other than singing from outside, singing to
my colleagues
you work with? Yeah.
To be honest, if I'm going to record music, I know I can sing. So let's put
let's get that out of the way.
Humility, humble.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know I can sing, but it was just actually trying. I can't even remember, what did I sing? I can't even remember what I sang. I don't even know if it was gospel. It might have been like Nina Simone, Feeling Good or something. So and they were like,
what?
Their mouths.
That's your promotion right there. Like this one is
she's
going
so gifted.
nowhere. All right. I can talk to you for 4 hours. Trust me, I can. To round this up, what would you, as they say, you've seen life to a particular point. Like, again, this is work in progress talk, so I'm not talking to you like you're there yet. But for the little you've seen, or the big things you've gone through, you've really gone through stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff you have gone through could be equivalent to somebody in the 50s or 60s.
But I don't carry it. And I think that's what shocks a lot of people. Yes. Everyone thinks I've got a silver spoon, I'm so privileged, I've got but I don't want to have to wear it as a badge of honor.
Yes. Yes.
And if anyone asks me, I will tell them my story, because I
Yes.
pray it's an encouragement. I don't want to have gone through it in vain. It needs
Absolutely.
to encourage people. But then
Absolutely.
I don't want to wear it as a badge of honor so that I
Yes.
can justify what I do, how I do, why
Yes.
I do. But yeah, I thank God for grace, honestly.
So I think that takes, does that take skill? Because where I'm going to relay is, just to round this off, is to counsel that young lady or guy who's just at a crossroads and life is just throwing things at them just as it did to you.
Yeah.
What would your singular advice be to them at the moment, based on what you've realized?
Hold your head up and keep pushing. Stay, like, look for the silver lining. I've had friends where they're like, oh, this has happened and that has happened and that's happened. And I think I've become the silver lining expert. I will search it out, because once you encourage yourself, that's why David used to encourage himself a lot. No
Yes.
matter the battles, the family, everyone's taken, he has to keep, because if you wallow in it, it's like
Yes.
quicksand, and it starts
Absolutely.
to build and suck you in.
Absolutely.
But whereas if you keep encouraging yourself, find that silver lining, then you'll have maybe the boldness to actually take a sidestep and
Yes.
sidestep that situation. And as I said on the last time we were live,
Yeah.
put your hand up and ask for help.
Hmm.
You know, you need to surround yourself with people that you can talk to, honestly, because a lot of people have lots of friends, but they're not really friends, they're acquaintances that
Yes.
you can't talk to
Yeah.
and open up to, because sometimes you can't see the wood for the tree because you're in it, and
Yes.
someone can lead you out of it because they've got, but then be prayerful about it. Like,
Yes.
once they've given you the advice, you need to test it and make sure your spirit is aligned with it, and be alive to your spirit and the leading of your spirit, because that spirit will tell you who to talk to. So many doors have opened for me because of, I knew, like, it was just like, am I thinking about that person? And then I'll talk to that person,
Yes.
and that person has the answer. So everything, there's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes
Yes.
is so important, nothing new. So stay positive, speak up if you need help.
Oh my God, you have done it again. Your consistency. I'm very, very amazed. Not amazed. I'm dangerously afraid of your consistency.
Why?
It's just, you're just at 100 all the time. You have to be human. Just come down to
It feels
95.
natural. It feels natural, honestly.
I
Yeah,
know.
it feels natural.
I know. Thank you so very much,
Thank you so
Victoria.
much, Lord Byron.
Please, guys, I think this is key. Victoria is happy for you to slide into her DM, ask her questions. She's a mentor. She's a coach. She's gone through life. I'm going to put up all the videos of her earlier session so you get the full gist. And she's been through a lot, but she doesn't look it. But one of her biggest advice is don't carry it. Just keep living. You know, so Victoria, thank you so much. We learned your second name today, Jumoke.
Olajumoke.
So, Victoria Olajumoke Babatunde, I can tell you that please, the next time they call you, tell them that you have a CHH after your name. You're a certified hustle hero.
Thank you.
So, from all of us, mad love.
God bless you all. Thank you for
showing
joining.
up. Do you agree we should do a season 2? Yes or no?
Definitely.
Fantastic. It's all done. Thank you so very much.
Let me
get back to your beautiful life, and thanks for sharing. All right, then.
God bless.
See you later. Bye. Bye. Wow. Wow, guys. Wow. What did you think about that? Guess what? We're not even halfway yet. What I've got in stock for you tonight, trust me, it will take you weeks and months to get over it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to do. Please, I'm going to give you a quick break, which is a coffee, tea, drink, whatever. Just get a drink, get comfy. I'm going to shut this down because Instagram gives us an hour per time. I'm going to shut it down now, and then I'm going to reconnect immediately. So please tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll be going to speak to another 3 speakers. So guess what? You're in for a treat tonight. So please get a drink, toilet break, whatever. Do whatever you do. I'll log out now, and then I'll log back in about 30 seconds. And please I'm trusting that you join us again. Thank you for holding on, and I'll see you